And joining us now is Joel Lisenby, who is the climatologist and drought early warning system coordinator with NITIS, here to talk a little bit about 2021 drought conditions. Joel, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Taban.
So we want to start off with 2021, and it started with nearly half of the Intermountain West in exceptional drought conditions, but ended with only about a quarter of it in that category. What factors contributed to these ups and downs that we saw throughout the Southwest?
So if you remember all the way back to the end of 2020, it was a very dry year. We had a record-setting drought across most of the West. And as we were coming to the end of 2020, you're right, almost half, it was 45% was an exceptional drought. That stuck around through most of spring. We had an early snow melt in February, and things stayed really dry until, you may remember, we had this record-setting monsoon that came through in summer 2021. And that monsoon made a big difference, especially in the southwestern states like Arizona, New Mexico. The southern part of Utah, places like Cedar City and St. George, Utah, got a lot of rain, and even the southern part of Colorado. Now, the monsoon wasn't enough to erase all the drought, but we certainly saw some drought improvement. That improvement stuck around. Things didn't really get worse through autumn. We had a really dry November. If you look at the snow that accumulated in the Rocky Mountains in December, that was enough to really make a big improvement from where we started the year.
Absolutely. Getting into the summer monsoon, the December precipitation, and then the drought expanded out throughout Colorado across the end of the year. How did we see that manifest within the months of December and November?
So I mentioned most of the snow was in the Rockies. When you got onto the east side of the divide, things were still pretty dry and very warm. In fact, most of Colorado had record late snowfall for the year. Southern Colorado, specifically southeastern Colorado, didn't have their first measurable snow until the 31st of December, almost a month later than the long-term average. It culminated in these wildfires on December 30th with the Marshall Fire in Boulder County, and has been quite destructive. It had a worsening drought.
What do you expect as we head into the spring? What do you expect for the region to come?
We're still in a La Nina pattern. That usually means drier and warmer conditions for the southwestern states, places like Arizona, New Mexico. We expect the rest of winter and spring to stay on the drier side of things. And then as we get into later spring and summer, as La Nina breaks down, right now things are pointing us back toward hopefully average sort of precipitation and temperatures.
And then as we look towards the southern plains, they saw that expansion of drought towards the end of the year. What was the cause of that?
La Nina was partially to play because places like Texas and the plains of New Mexico and even Oklahoma have a drying signal with La Nina. But in addition to that, we had really high temperatures. Places like New Mexico and Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Louisiana, Arkansas, all the way up to Missouri. These are all states that set a new record for the warmest December on record. And where you have warmer temperatures, even though it is winter, you have warmer temperatures and more evaporation than you would expect this time of year.
And moving forward, how do you see drought conditions being forecasted as we head into the growing season?
So I mentioned a minute ago that we're expecting La Nina to break down. And while we still have La Nina pattern in place, we still expect below normal precipitation and above normal temperatures. And that's also reflected in the Climate Prediction Center's 3-month seasonal outlook. As we look farther beyond that, again, we're hoping for a return to normal conditions, but we kind of have to wait to see. It's a little beyond where our weather models are forecasting out to.
Thank you so much, Joel, for joining us here today. We really appreciate it.